So we just watched Nanny on Prime Video, and horror. This is one of those titles once again where it's like, yes, horror is what it is labeled as on IMDb. Mm-hmm. And there's horror elements for sure. I mean, there's definitely some horror in it. But ultimately, it's a drama and it's sad.
Very sad.
But what is it about? It is about a woman who takes a nannying job to save up enough money for her kid to come to America. Mm-hmm. And while she's nannying, she's having some wet dreams. But not those kind.
Not those kind.
Not those kind. Dreams where she's getting wet, but not like that.
Not like
I don't know how else
no.
to say that, but...
Water dreams.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'll say this. I think the film looks fantastic, and I think that there is some fantastic direction and some excellent acting from everybody.
Yes.
This is a very, very competently made film, like in all regards. Mm-hmm. The lighting, I really like the music, mm-hmm. and
the sound design.
The chemistry in the romance is really, really, really solid and very, very believable. And the directing in those scenes in particular is impeccable. So kudos all across the board. And as far as the film goes, I really enjoyed it. I think that it is probably going to be somewhat off-putting to horror fans who are looking for it to go in the more traditional horror direction. It does start off with this tease of that the film's going to get more horror-y just right out the opening scene. Mm-hmm. And there's some imagery that I haven't quite... I mean, we literally just finished the movie like 1 minute ago.
Yeah.
I mean, we sat down.
So fast after.
Yes. And we started recording immediately after. But there's like spiders.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to say.
And I'm not sure how they work into the film quite yet. There is some like decaying imagery throughout, which I quite liked because I do think that it plays into the film. Mm-hmm. The spiders, I'm not sure quite yet. And then you get some mermaid stuff in here. But yeah, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, you said it really well. I think, like, I agree with you. It was a very competently made film. I really loved the chemistry between the two. And I think that, like, it was really sad, but it was also very heartfelt. And it's definitely more of, like, a psychological drama with very light horror elements. But I think that it worked really well for, the theme of the story.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I definitely think that if you're into like slower burn, psychologically driven, dramatic films with horror edges, that this would
like
definitely...
flavor of horror.
Yeah, this would definitely be something super up your alley. If you're more in it for the filmmaking and the acting and the dramatic work and the lighting and all that stuff, all the technical stuff. And that's not to take away from the story. I actually was very engaged in the story, and what Kaylee and I had guessed throughout the film ended up not being correct.
It was wrong.
It was close.
Yes.
It was close, but it was a different variation of what we thought. So it was a pleasant surprise, but not pleasant at all.
No.
Not pleasant at all.
Horrible.
This is a downer of a film.
Super downer.
But it's not without its, like, hope.
Sure.
And
yes.
It
ends on a very bittersweet kind
sure.
of note.
But I really do think the performances here are all excellent. I could definitely see people, and I completely understand this. I can definitely see people. I mean, there's gonna be people who are like, "This is boring. It's not horror. This is whatever." Those people are those people. That's fine, and I totally get that too. If that's what you're only watching it for, you're like, "I wanted a horror movie. This isn't a horror movie." Okay, that's fine. But getting to the point, I could see people feeling like the nannying part of the movie doesn't really amount to much, right? Mm-hmm. And I could see that argument for sure, that the film's more focused on her life in the States and what's going on back home, and that the nannying stuff is kind of just driving the plot forward, and that it doesn't really amount to much in the end. And I could see that, but I think this is a film you would really want to dissect and analyze and discuss, because I do think there's some really good, deeper meanings to a lot of things, and probably would service pretty well from a second watch.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's a deeper film than I think those people would give it credit for, and would see it more on a surface level. Ha 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 ha, because it's a lot of underwater stuff. But yeah, it's kind of like the movie. It's deep. Yeah.
Yes. There's a lot of layers to it for sure.
So yeah, this is a recommendation for people who like the kinds of films that we have tried to tell you it's like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Definitely a recommendation.
Not what I was expecting.
No, me either.
You know, it kind of reminded me of a movie we watched this year-ish, on like that I was into it and I thought the acting was good, and then this one actually paid off and the other one did not at all, and that was Master.
Oh,
which was also a Prime movie as well. But just kind of had that like dramatic, you know, and it was more drama than horror for sure. And the ending didn't go exactly the direction we were expecting for sure. And that, you know, I don't want to say much more because of the spoiler territory, whatnot, but it just kind of had a similar feel to it in that way. But this one is much better.
Yeah,
much better. Yeah. That's it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to say without getting into spoiler territory.
Yeah.
I think that you should check it out.
I wouldn't even talk spoilers on this movie until I've seen it a second time.
Yes.
Because I definitely need to go back over some scenes. I need to look for the symbolism of the spider. I want to listen more to her boyfriend's mother and what she's saying about like mermaids and whatnot, and his childhood with his mother.
Yeah.
And try to connect some pieces.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
And really focus in on some of the phone calls. Stuff like that. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I really, really want to go back and listen to again in the future. I just don't know. I mean, this is a film I would watch again, but it's also a film I don't see myself running back to anytime soon. Yeah. Because I don't run back to almost anything. Right?
Sure. There's
even
already
films I
so
love.
many. Yeah, there's so many new things.
I rarely go back and rewatch. So I would watch this again, but I'm probably not going to.
Maybe we will.
Maybe.
We'll see.
I mean, I would totally be down. But, yeah. A surprise. A pleasant surprise.
Unexpected.
Not sure I could put this on a horror list. I don't think it would make my top horror list. But I did really enjoy it. I did really enjoy it. As a dramatic film, I thought it was quite good. Yeah. And I'm glad we watched it. And the low rating on IMDb is unfair, I feel.
What's it rated?
Like a 5.2 or something. It was like a 6 point something, and I felt like that's way more fair. Yeah. This is like a 6.2 to 6.5. I think that's a fair rating.
Not a 5. It's a great, like, looking film. So it definitely deserves a higher.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing super wrong with the film. I just can see some people thinking that it either amounted to nothing or is boring.
Yeah, you're right.
And I was never bored.
No, neither was I.
Never
I was
once.
very engaged the whole time.
Yes. I genuinely had no idea where this movie was going for like 45 minutes, and I liked that.
Well, and also, like, this is where it's almost midnight, and usually when we watch movies around this time, I start getting tired, even if I'm, like, interested in the film. So the fact that I stayed awake the whole time.
Yeah, you didn't struggle at all.
That's also really, it just shows how engaging it was.
Sure. So, all right. Let us know if you watched it. Yeah. It's on Amazon Prime currently right now. So, check it out.
Bye.
Bye, guys.